we are going to discuss about site code, same as best practice, and we will see other solution best practice as well. This is Satish Kumar from SK Tech Channel. Before going to the topic, so I just wanted to convey an important message. Please subscribe to the channel. If you are not yet subscribed, then only whatever the videos I am posting will reach you automatically. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and share it with your relatives to spread this community group among your friends and relatives. Let us into the topic. So what is Sitecore? Sitecore is a more of a flexible enterprise content management system. So which is a streamlined organized in manner, so which has a feasibility to hold a large amount of content in an organized manner, and the full content life cycle will be offered with minimum infrastructure. So Sitecore is basically a content management system for the marketers. Okay, there are additional feature as well, content platform, that is experience platform, and added, which is for the marketers to explore more regarding the personalization and digital marketing system, etc. Coming back to our topic, Sitecore CMS best practice. So first, I want to from template level I'm starting. So template level, considering the template level, the naming convention should be appropriate, which is meaningful to the template. And for an example, if it's a base template, you should begin with the name as underscore content if it's a base template. And uh, and the folder structure should be a meaningful one. So as per the Sitecore provider, follow the helix principle. Okay, helix principle of organizing the folder structure. So that is suggested by the Sitecore. So normally when you create a base template, the base template should start with underscore content and your base template name, so that when you inherit in your child template, you will understand that this is a base template. You can easily understand this is related to base template. So helix principle means it's nothing but that is also a implementation of folder structure. So this is regarding the naming convention and folder structure. Choose appropriate name for the templates and folders, which is meaningful for the business as well and meaningful to the and easily identified by the content authors. Regarding data template, so here the best practice what we are going to discuss is template inheritations. So try to inherit, try to create inheritance. So instead of creating a very large template, you just split the template into a small piece of chunks based on the section and its business implication, and create a base template and inherit the respective other template as a child template. So this will, and make sure while inheriting, make sure it should not be a cyclic template inheritance. Okay, so inheritance should be followed in template level. That is Sitecore CMS best practice. So don't create a template with 50 or 40 fields. Just break the template into small chunks and create a base template which is common among the template. Just create a base template and create other different business requirement template as a child template and inherit in the base template. Okay, standard values. So one of the wonderful feature that is available in template is standard values. So first, Sitecore suggests is in standard values, you maintain the presentation details instead of maintaining in the content item. You just maintain in the standard values, present details, um, all the layout related thing, that is um, presentation details components. Okay. So regarding the data template, there is an insert option in the template. You just in the standard values we create using that insert option. You can assign the insert option object. For an example, you have data page template called home. So in that, when you create a content, the home item, you want the child item should be a child home. So what you do is in the home template, standard values, in the insert option, assign the child value template. So whenever we go to the content item, so the home, when you right click, automatically the child template name will come. So this is a best practice Psycho suggests. So no, so otherwise you will need to manually select the template and create item. Okay. So this best practice Psycho suggests. And another one is, as far as possible in standard values, use tokens. So no, so this will avoid a manual entry of name, date, time. Okay, this token is basically a dollar name, dollar type, dollar date time. So dollar name is replaced with current name of the item, and the dollar date is replaced with current date, and dollar time is replaced with current time. So uh, as far as the Sitecore is concerned, use tokens rather than the content editor going and enter the name, date, and time manually. Okay. Okay. And another next is coming back to content structure. So content tree. So organize the content tree in a such a way that this will be a reflect a business implementations. The content author or any business, any user can easily understand the flow of the content structure. Okay. So another one is um, so do not create more than 100 item under a single item. So if you want to create a child item, do not create a more than 100 items. The child item should have only less than 100 item. Otherwise, if it's more than 100 item, you create it as a bucketable items. Okay. So each and every navigation and the security rules, everything should be carefully taken. The creating content structure should clearly clearly shows your business. Okay. And another best practice what Setco suggests is the version, the number of version we are creating in master database should be 10, should be less than 10, should not exceed more than 10, so that it is a best practice. So that if the number of versions is more, the CMS will be slow. So try to maintain version below the 10. Okay. And for the checking purposes, so when you preview an item with, when we create, after create an item, you preview the item without any data, so it should not throw any error. So that check you need to do. That's a practice Psychos suggest. So the child item content should be less than 100. If it is more than 100, you create a bucketable item. So creating a bucketable item will make that item hidden in the content tree, and you can use indexed, and the items are indexed, and this will enhance the this will improve the loading time of CMS, and you can get the bucketable item through index. Okay. Okay, coming back to presentation layout best practice. So limit the number of layouts in the presentation page. You need to limit the number of layouts. You should not provide more layouts. Okay, that's a practice, best practice CMS support. So you can create a layout per device like mobile, desktop, tablet. Okay, or for the whole website you can create one line. Okay, static binding is if the component is the component is same across the site, it doesn't change often, then you go with static binding. So for an example, static binding is header and footer, so statically bounded to the layout. Okay. And dynamic binding is using a dynamic placeholder, so that content editor can add a respective component uh, in the experience editor or content editor, you can go with dynamic binding. So dynamic binding is the component data source are dynamically attached. Uh, so so in that case, you can go with dynamic binding. Okay. And placeholder settings. So review the placeholder settings periodically. You should not create more placeholders. Okay. And in the placeholder, the available component, you limit, you just provide the which are the component you need to select. Okay. You should not without providing the available component. So what happens is you can select any component, but if you provide the if you limit the component for the particular placeholder, then this will avoid unnecessary confusion while you are adding a data source to the component. Okay. So for example, if you add a particular a component, if the available component to be added to that placeholder, you limit the components one or two, then you can easily add a particular component. When you attach when you add the component, automatically show the two options component what you have limited in the placeholder. So this will avoid your it will save your time and continuing time and provide a structured and organized way. Okay. Experience editor. So I think experience editor, we need to check whether the content, the whatever the components and its contents are viewable in experience editor. Make sure your content authors or content editor are using experience editor. That is the best practice Psycho CMS suggests. So as far as for the Sitecore concern, Sitecore is just try to use experience editor for adding a dynamic components. So this will be useful, and it will also create a component that is create a content that is compatible with the experience editor, like the fields we are creating a single line field or other fields like multi-line field or easily compatible. So an example, multi-list means you have to use inline editor frame. So make sure the whatever the components, what are the fields you are using, that should be compatible with experience editor. Media asset. This is so when you're creating a media asset, just organize a folder in a structured, understandable way and a business user friendly way. Okay, and optimize the whatever the image you are uploading in the media asset folder. So you just optimize the image, optimized image in the media folder, and try to use CSS and JSS inside the media folder. So you try to add CSS and JSS as a media item and you just include in your page component. That is Sitecore suggests, so that you will get an you will get a firm idea. So without adding the CSS and JS in media asserts, you give it in the platform side. What happens is you need a deployment for each CSS or JSS change. Okay. So if you attach the media assets, so like CSS, JSS in the media item, then there is no deployment. You can directly CMS, you can directly change the assets and you can publish it and you can directly work on. So it will change, it will reduce the unnecessary deployment. Uh, Sitecore based practice. So that security best practices. So here, what the Sitecore suggests is regarding the creating the security related, that is user roles and user. Just assign the security to the roles. Don't assign it to the user level. Okay, and create the roles in the Sitecore domain. So instead of a specific domain. Okay, these are the some few best practices Sitecore suggests. So don't assign a security rights to users, user level. Just assign it to the roles level. Okay. And caching is one of the important best practices. If your content is a static, dynamic, static component, then you can enable caching as well. So um, you can data caching increase the performance by storing a copy of the data, increasing frequent external systems. Okay, so if you enable caching, then the performance of the website will be increased, so that it will avoid unnecessary hitting the CMS, that is CMS server data. Okay, to directly render from the rendering level. If you enable the cache from the like HTML cache in the rendering level, so or data cache. So what happens is uh, it will not directly hit the CMS database. It will render from the cache, so it will increase the performance of the website. Okay. Workflow is one of the best practice suggest to enable workflow based CMS. So what is the use? So if you enable workflow based CMS, the each and every content will be going to initial draft and approved state and submitted state. So each stage it should be approved and reviewed. So only valid content will go to the web database, and another one is to minimize the number of email communications. And directly from the CMS itself, you can able to assign to authors. Okay, whatever your changes completed from the initial, you need to draft version, you will move to initial version, then it go to the approval submitted versions. So each version content others approves, so the error, the human data error will be minimized, and number of email notification is also minimized. Okay. Solution review best practices. Okay, this is for the platform side. So platform side, just remove the commented code and replace the direct SQL call with indexed or uh, indexed API or Sitecore API, so that we will not directly contact the CMS. Okay, if you use Sitecore API or Sitecore indexes, it will be rendered from the indexes, so you will not directly query the content item uh, from the CMS. So it will avoid, it save a lot of performance. It will increase the performance of the CMS server. And also in the platform side, you need to comment out the unwanted code. And if you remove the you need to periodically remove the commented code. Okay, should not kept a commented code in solution. Okay, so this will be standard practices what CMS support. Okay, and another one is follow the helix principles, and that is you need to organize your solution structure based on helix principle, like feature foundation and project. Okay, so remove the hard coding as well. Okay. Some other best practices enable continuous integration environment project for the platform code. So enable automated gated check-ins with unit testing and style validation, etc. So periodically review your Sitecore CMS part using Sitecore certified experts or MVPs to adhere to the Sitecore CMS best practices. That's it from this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe the channel if you are not yet subscribed yet. Then only whatever the videos I am posting will reach you automatically. This is Sarish Kumar signing off. Thank you guys. Good luck. Bye bye.